about 2 weeks to fix my knife properly so that it doesn't weaken the metal.
Yeah.
Just because how deep the chip is. We're gonna work on it probably next week starting.
Nice. Very united.
What?
Very united.
Yeah. Oyster is not so good. They're opening up.
What?
They're opening up. These two are opened. I've never seen that before. I think maybe I got too dry.
Should we have covered with the ice last night?
What?
Should we have covered them?
I guess. We'll see. Hello, carrot potato, welcome in. You are too excited for the next stream. You were already here before we were live. I love that when people wait for us. How are you doing this morning? We have some lovely shellfish here. I want to show you guys. Looks so good. Sammy picked this up for us yesterday. Oysters, clams, and mussels. Some of my favorite things to eat, for sure. Have you ever had these before? Yeah, this evening, that's right. It's morning here, evening for you. You've never had oysters. Oh my gosh. They're so yummy. So these ones are called cushies. Cushy oysters. Those are some of our favorite varieties.
okay?
We got the dog a really big bone. She goes crazy for them. You just gotta make sure that she's not choking on the stuff. Crazy doggos. That's her Christmas gift.
You okay?
Okay, so there's the shellfish, and I'm just gonna lay out all of the other stuff for the broth on a tray. Oysters are pretty expensive, so like they're definitely not something that we can eat all the time even. Hard to afford that. But every once in a while it's really good for a treat. So we thought we would do that for ourselves since we've been working hard. Okay, so I'm just laying on the tray. I like how that's reflecting. Just putting on the tray some of the herbs for the broth. So we got some dill, some spring onion. Wow, this was all the parsley they had?
That's all the parsley they had.
That's sad.
Yeah. That was maybe one.
And then we got some parsley, which doesn't actually look that good. So I'm questioning it. But we'll use it. It's usable. Your parents told you oysters are disgusting? You're not going to define your opinion on theirs because they don't like it, you never have it. Exactly. That's definitely an ingredient that you have to try for yourself. I still remember the first time eating an oyster in the first restaurant that I ever worked in. We served oysters there. And this was in Alberta, so the quality of the seafood, not that good compared to being out here on the West Coast. I was so terrified eating that first oyster. I thought it was so gross. But you know what? It's really good. It just tastes like the ocean. It's like briny and sweet and salty. The only thing that is hard to get past is the texture of them. That's about it. But I have grown to really, really enjoy eating them. It can't be too big though, that's the only thing. Okay, so here is a massive bulb of fennel, which is great. Especially with all the greens on there still. Those are really good to use as a garnish, or sometimes I just eat them. It's called the fennel frond. And then just a little spot. There's lots of green stuff going in here, hey? I'm gonna pick out a bunch of these ripe little heirloom tomatoes. And I cooked up about, let me think, probably about 6 pounds of shellfish yesterday at work for the Christmas party. Half of the people that we serve, so 22 people, 12 of them chose to get clams and mussels for their appetizer, which I knew was gonna happen. I had that feeling. Sometimes you just get that feeling and you're like, this is gonna happen. Okay, so one more thing that we have to put on here is the kale from the garden. So I'm just gonna go quickly pick that. You guys chillax while I do that. It should take me less than a minute. So I will be right back. Have fun staring at all of our lovely produce. And then I have the bread that we made for the grilled cheese last week. I put it in the fridge, and you actually want kind of a day old or more of a dry bread to use when you're making clams and mussels, just because it's going to soak up more of the broth that way. So we'll slice this up and toast it, and that's what we'll be able to dip into the broth and eat together. So I'll be right back. got some kale. Hammy Tom Tom, how are you? You do know people that will most certainly know someone who fishes mussels and other sea creatures. That's amazing. You should totally take advantage of that. I am well, thank you for asking. It's good to see you this morning. Okay, so I just grabbed some of the kale from the garden. Oh no, Doggo's dying. Doggo, what do? Just gonna wash it up because it's pretty dirty and I don't want to get the dirt on the other ingredients. I think she's done. She's done the deed. Tell her to show them on stream the bone. You're mad. Oh, you got a cold. No.
Yeah, you gotta show. Come on. Come on.
Hashi. Hashi girl.
She got a good sized bone. Come
The
here.
bone's like as big as her.
Come here. Come here.
Hush. Go see Sammy. Literally as big as her. She loves it. Like she won't put it down. That's lovely, Hammy. You can spend your sick day with us. We would quite enjoy that.
I bring Doggo to give you
Love.
love.
Love
Look at
from
this.
afar.
Look I have a bone. I'm getting pet by Sam. You good?
Like, I don't know how she even carries that around. Is a good girl.
It's a good bone.
She's very serious about it.
Yeah.
What? Hammy Tom Tom with the prime sub. Thank you so much. Love having you a part of the Onion Squad. Thank you for that. I will accept this gift. Christmas came early. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's a big bone, eh? Ah, sorry. This thing is still crooked and it's bugging me. Bugging the heck out of me. Okay, so there's our tray of all the goods that we need. I don't think we need too much else in here. Actually, maybe some garlic. Garlic is necessary always, guys. We'll just prop that up right there. We'll use some purple garlic from Sam's mom. She labeled them all for us. Okay, so what we gotta do now, the first step, and then here's the chorizo that we picked up. Made here on Vancouver Island, so I will accept that. Okay, so back to the seafood. So as you guys can see, we packed it in ice. This is a thing that you have to do if you are going to have seafood at home. And this is what we do at the restaurant at all times. And then the other thing, when you pack it with ice, you need to make sure that when the ice melts, the water is not sitting over the shellfish. So you need to be able to drain it through. So we have it in a colander with just something underneath to catch it. So you need this shellfish propped up somehow over something. I thought the colander would be the easiest thing to use. And that's kind of what most people would have at home, something that's perforated. And then that way, it stays really fresh. So you want it to stay really, really cold. But you don't want it to sit in its own water when that ice starts to melt, because these things are alive. That's the thing. So we're keeping them alive, and you also don't want to suffocate them either. That can happen. So just leave it open with the ice. You don't have to wrap it with anything. And then as the ice melts, these guys are like actually kind of releasing some fecal matter, let's say, as they're sitting in this ice. So that's why you want it to drain through. If you let them sit in that water, the ice water, with the matter that they are releasing, they're not going to stay fresh for very long. Think about if you were in a bathtub and let's go, it's going to be kind of gross when I say this, but like there's poop in the bathtub, that's how it would be. So not a very clean way to have your shellfish. So same thing goes with oysters as well. And then one thing that I learned from the restaurant, hello Trueness, how are you today? One thing that I've learned working in the restaurant is oysters should always be kept the way that they're going to be served. So face up, let's say. So that's the top of the oyster. It always has this curve, really nice shell. And then this way, you're gonna shuck this top part off. But if you leave the oyster like this in the ice, there is a bunch of liqueur. What it's called is the oyster liqueur that's inside of that shell. That can seep out. Because when I took these oysters out of the fridge just at the start of the stream, these two guys were actually opened. So like they are breathing and living, and they do need air. But they have closed up since I took them out. And they'll also search for moisture. So sometimes you'll see like the clam tongues hanging out and stuff, and if you touch them, they'll suck it back in. It's really, really fun to cook these. You love sumo wrestling? On a serious note, you like how direct it is, how much skill you need, and the tradition. Yeah, it's really cool, hey? Yeah, we need to put them in ice. So whenever you get them from the seafood counter or the fishmonger, they should always pack it with ice anyways to begin with. And the way that they packed these for us is they had them in plastic bags with ice sealed up. So when we got home, we tore them all open and put them into here. So now we can work on taking them out of here. And then our next step, okay, sounds good, Hammy. We will be here. Yeah, Trueness. We did get them for a good price. Let me grab the receipt. And then I'll also show you how much we have here. So we have those oysters, which I'm just going to take out because there is more stuff buried underneath. So for half a dozen oysters, usually you order them per dozen. So for half a dozen oysters, and these are cushies, so they are a premium oyster here on the West Coast. They were $1 each. So we call those buck-a-shuck, which is really, really inexpensive. So if you can get oysters for $1 each that are nice and fresh, that's a steal of a deal. Typically, when you go out to eat oysters, they're about like $2.50 to $3 each. So if you can get them for $1, that's awesome. So that's why Sammy picked those up. And then clams. So we got 2 bags of clams. These are called manila clams. And then whenever you're picking those up from the store, you need to make sure that they have a tag on them. It's called a seafood tag. And that will tell you where it was produced and the date it was harvested on. So you know it's got to be fresh. If the date is quite old, I would not get them. What's up?
I put the bone outside. Guess what she's looking at?
So if there is no tag on your shellfish when you buy it, I would not even purchase that. Because if you end up getting sick from it, let's hope not, is that tag is going to save you. So like the fishery or the shellfish producer place is the ones that are liable for people getting sick from the seafood. So we obviously don't have a tag for the oysters, so that's kind of risky. That can be risky because we're going to eat these raw. And then same thing goes with the restaurant. So in the restaurant, when we get our clams and mussels and oysters in, we have to keep those tags for a minimum 3 months. just in case anything happens, but then that saves our butt if somebody gets sick. So it's not actually on us. They will go back directly to where the shellfish is from, and then they'll do some testing and see what happened. So the 2 bags of clams, we saved 50 cents each on them. Or sorry, we saved $1 on each bag. And they are 1.5 pounds. And they were $9 for each bag. So $18 for that. But if you think about the price that you're gonna pay at a restaurant to eat this seafood, is you will not get nearly the same amount. Like our mussels and clams at work are about 1.5 pounds, but the whole dish in its entirety is like $23. Or even more than that. And then here are our Salt Spring Island mussels. So I have been to this island before. It is nearby. Sammy hasn't. We have to take a trip out there pretty soon. And then if we look at the mussels, so there's a bunch of this like stringy stuff going on here, and that is actually, they grow that stuff. And then there's always one string on the inside part of the mussel, which we actually have to take off before we cook them. That's called the beard. And it's not good at all to keep on. So you can see this guy's opened up. He might actually be dead, so we'll end up throwing that out. It happens, guys, even with fresh shellfish. So this guy's opened, and the way that I always test to see if it's still alive is just give it a little squeeze. And then if it's still good and fresh, it will close up on its own. But this guy is not at all, so it's dead. And then all we'd have to do to prep it is just pull the beard off. That's it. Really, really simple. But I'm going to leave that guy in there since he is not so happy.
See if he closes up in this a little bit.
Yeah, we'll see. Sometimes they're just like wanting some oxygen or air. Wait, what if they're fresh from the ocean? Well, it should all be fresh from the ocean. And so the mussels for the 1.5 pound bag were $9.50. So a little bit more expensive. So if you look at this guy, his shell is completely broken. So we don't want that guy either. I'm gonna pour them out. And then our next step is going to be rinsing the clams under cold water. Clams like to hold, look at these guys are like eating the plastic. Clams like to hold a lot of sand inside of them and also on their shell. So always give a good rinse over the clams before you cook them. Otherwise you're gonna have like a sandy broth, and nobody wants that at all. So we can get those rinsing while we clean up the mussels, because we do have to clean off any of that string matter that's on there and clean up the shell really nice. So having mussels in a restaurant is quite laborious of a task, and that is my task at the restaurant. So I always have to make sure that I give myself enough time to prepare the seafood properly before we serve it. But if we are only throwing out these 3 mussels out of the 1.5 pounds, that's really, really good. I think chef said usually the max amount of waste that we want from the seafood is 10% of the weight. And if it's more than 10%, then he messages the seafood company, and then we can get a discount on it, because it shouldn't be that much waste. This guy's open a little bit too, but I think he's okay. You're playing Siege. Okay, sounds good, Hanny. You mean if they literally just come off the boat, you don't think they have the labels on them? No, they probably don't. I'm not really sure. And so if we look at the tag, I don't think it's going to focus for you guys, so I'll just read it. It says harvest date December 2nd. So that's not actually that fresh anymore. Like, that's over a week now, right? But for the quality, I'm pretty impressed. And it says they're farm raised. And they are from Salt Spring Island. So if you guys want to look up where that is, go for it. And it is an ocean-wise product. This thing is really shiny. So that's another thing to keep in mind, is you want your shellfish to be ocean-wise and make sure that it is being produced in a sustainable way. So our clams, manila clams, it doesn't actually say the specific harvest location. It's just a bunch of letters and numbers, so I can't say where these are from. And then these are actually harvested on November 28th. So the seafood that we get at work is usually only 2 or 3 days old max. So I've never actually worked with shellfish this old yet, but I'm surprised at how good they still look. Yeah, the fuck can I do? Welcome in. You should totally do an internship in Canada. That'd be awesome. So I'm gonna get probably a big bowl to put all the clams in, and then we can start rinsing those in the sink while we clean up our mussels. Just gonna wash my hands quickly. You don't want to cross-contaminate anything if you're touching raw shellfish, guys, so always want to make sure that your hands are clean if you're going to touch anything else after the shellfish. Because that can make you sick for sure.
Oh shit, 6 months in a row.
Matt! All of the meat now. Well, hopefully this counts as meat. Thank you for the 6-month resub, man. And thank you for everything you do, modding this channel and watching while you're at work. Is much appreciated. Do we have to clean a lot of shrimp for work? No. We don't use shrimp too often. We get in, they're called side stripe prawns. Not too often though, and they're like just these little guys that we usually peel up, and they are cleaned already on the inside. So those prawns are different from shrimp, let's say. You usually do shrimp once a week? Wow. Yeah, there's not really any hacks, Trueness, other than just like slicing down the backside of the shrimp and rinsing out the poop. You should totally try clams or mussels. It qualifies the meat of the sea. Oh shit, yeah, Matt, with the purple knife. Different cuts. Okay. Let's get this bowl. And then I'm gonna keep the ice, just in case we need it for anything. So I'm just gonna post it up over here. So then if you think about the water rinsing over the clams in the sink, all of the sand's gonna fall to the bottom of the bowl. So then when we go to take the clams out, you wanna make sure that you don't really agitate it too much and just carefully bring it up. That way you will leave all the sand in the bottom and have nice clean clams. The fake vegetarians that say they're vegetarian but still eat seafood. Yeah, that's called pescatarian. In my opinion, that's allowed. That's okay. As long as they know their designation and follow it properly, I have nothing against it. Like, if a vegan's gonna eat cheese and fish and stuff, you're not a vegan. So don't even use that word, please. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we're going over to the sink with these. These guys are really small. Some of the ones that we've gotten at work were like 3 times this size. It's crazy. But then the only bad thing about that when you get them really big is that the shell is really thick and heavy. So you're paying for more weight of the shell than what's actually inside. So you always want to choose really small ones because you will get more bang for your buck. Yeah, exactly. It's like a little snack. So this guy was kind of opened up just now. I was going to show you, but he closed up super quick. Like, look at this little guy. It's so cute. Which shellfish do you find that has the richest liquor or juice? I would say oysters every time. These fatties, like, Sammy got some fatties. That's a good looking oyster. Like, there is some depth to that shell. So, like, you see the difference there. So, like, that's heavy. There's a lot of stuff in there compared to the other one. Oyster power. For sure, Tommy. For sure. Moister than an oyster. Okay, so now this, I think I'm going to post the oysters back up over the ice just to keep them really fresh while we do this. And so then the other thing for our clams is that you don't want to start rinsing them until, let's say, max 2 hours before you want to use them. Because shellfish is from the sea, so they're used to salty water. They don't love tap water. It actually kind of suffocates them. So you don't want to rinse them too early because they can die and not stay as fresh. Yeah, don't cut the beards off. Took all of November to grow them. I love that, Tommy. That's hilarious. That background sound, though, that's some ASMR for sure. Okay, oysters have been nestled in. I try to get that so it's not as noisy for us. That's better. Okay, so let's get into this. So fried oyster tips. I have not actually fried oysters before, but I have eaten a couple. So I just tested this guy because he's open. I don't know if he's gonna close up. We'll leave him over there. I've had oysters fried with cornmeal on the outside before. And then just recently on our road trip, we had some really, really good fried oysters at just like a fish shack on the side of the road in Oregon. And they had a really, really light batter on them in dog. Like the oyster was almost floppy and it kind of freaked me out at first. But then you ate this oyster and it was like the freshest fried oyster I've ever had in my life. Like it just tasted like the sea. Whereas a lot of other times I've had fried oysters that are like really dry and rubbery. So I think the best thing is just to not overcook it. So with that, probably have to have like a very proper fryer oil temp so that the oil is at the best temperature that you can just quickly cook it. It gets a little bit browned and crunchy, but the oyster still stays, let's say, kind of like a medium cook on it. Because you can eat oysters raw, so you don't have to completely cook them when you're frying them, right? You just want to make sure that the outside's cooked enough that it doesn't get soggy on the breading. Do I know any places that might accept be interested in foreign student chefs to their internship there? I think we had foreign students at my school. If I remember, which I can't remember too well because that was like 8 years ago now. But check it out, Carrot Potato. The school I went to is called NAIT, N-A-I-T, and it's in Alberta. Yeah, it's running away. Catch it. Oregon's your home state. Oh, I love it there. Okay, so we'll leave those two to the side. And I think I'm also going to put these into some water maybe. I find it easier to have them in the water while I'm kind of scrubbing this off. And you can use a scrubby if you want for that, but literally I just use my fingernail and kind of just scrape it off like that. Sometimes a scrubby doesn't even work, but it comes off pretty easily. But you definitely don't want that stuff to get into your broth. I don't think it's going to taste that good. Okay, clams are going. Happy clams. Let's just do this. Our little scrubbing bathtub. Okay guys, who in here has had clams and or mussels before? Whether it was in a restaurant or cooked yourself. And so here's the other thing about the mussels as well, is you don't want to take the beards off too early either. Like the way that I do it at work is I don't take the beard off until we get the order for the dish, and then I do that right before I cook them. Because as soon as you take the beard out, they're going to start dying. So you don't want to do that too far in advance either. You're waiting for a couple cookbooks to arrive from Hawksmoor. What is Hawksmoor? Is that a place? So literally just kind of brushing the strings and those little bits off of the shell. And also, what cookbooks, Tommy? Tell me more, tell me more. You've had way more clams than mussels, but you love them. Hell yeah, and I like doing a little combo. But the only thing with this combo is that the mussels cook quicker than the clams. So we're going to have to put the mussels into the steaming pot a little bit after we put the clams in. And that way they won't get overcooked. A lot of people don't realize that the shellfish does take different times to cook. Oh, a London restaurant. Okay. I will check that out. The school you're going to is in your country, but each year you have 4 days internship, 1 day college per week. That's crazy. You're allowed to do foreign internships. I'm sure most schools do that, so that could be cool to check that out. Trueness, you've had mussels but not clams, baked with cheese or steamed in white wine. Yeah, that's a great way to do it. So today, instead of wine, we're doing beer. I thought that would be a fun way to kind of switch it up. You just want to make sure that your beer is not too strong in flavor, because some beers can be too bitter to use to make the broth, so it has to be pretty balanced still. I guess we're going a little bit Mexican with this today, with the chorizo. and the tomato, but I don't think fennel is Mexican. We're just doing our own little mix. And then we're also going to be marinating the pork shoulder for the rotisserie tomorrow on stream. So we're going to be making up a Korean barbecue marinade to rub all over the pork shoulder, and then we're going to let it sit overnight and get all happy. Yeah, something about alcohol and shellfish. Yeah, wine, beer. Isn't there like a fennel liqueur? I'm just not remembering the name of it right now. But like you can use hard alcohol as well, which is really good. The name is on the tip of my tongue. It's not coming out though. Super busy at work, Matt? Well, that's good. You're selling subs for nudes. Top ramen or homemade is the best. It's not good that you're busy. Do you want to watch the stream? Yeah, this is BS, Matt. Don't they know what's actually important here? Tommy. Nudes in chat. Ah! We broke Twitch. Carrot potato. Just going for it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in dog. It's Monday Fun Day. So this craziness is bound to happen. What? Matt? Thanks for gifting the sub to Carrot Potato. And Indog? Seriously, man. Thank you for that. Except now they have to send nudes, so... Like, you didn't even give them a chance.
Indog 6 months in a row, too? Wow.
19 gifted subs, Matt. Thank you so much for that. This is something I don't expect from my mods. But thank you for keeping the community together. I really appreciate that, man. So, quick little update from yesterday. Because some of you were in here, some of you weren't. We crushed our dehydrator goal. Just like that. So, Anonymous Tip bought the dehydrator for us yesterday. So, we ordered that up. Should be here within a week or two. And then we can start playing around with dehydrator stuff on stream. And then probably do a giveaway of sorts at that time. I would say in January, there's going to be another giveaway. And it's probably going to be food from the dehydrator. So like jerky, dehydrated fruits, and stuff like that. Maybe I'll throw in a couple of salts and stuff. So we'll do a little giveaway pack. But then, as you guys can see, the next goal that I would love to work towards, we'll see if it happens, is to be able to go to New York to see Elvin. So the way that we would do that together is we would pick up a SIM card so that we are able to IRL stream the whole trip if we end up getting to that point. And that way it can kind of be like a stream trip for all of us together and go on like a little foodie adventure. Maybe do some cooking with Elvin. I don't know. I would love to start doing more of that stuff and like showing you guys what's all out in the world. You made fettuccine Alfredo. Oh, that pasta is so good. So simple, so good, hey? Still think my favorite pasta is carbonara though. I just can't not.
I have to agree with you.
What, Sammy?
I love carbonara.
Yeah, carbonara. Best pasta. Aw, Indog. Thank you for the 200 biddies. I see you are all for the NYC trip to go see Elvin. So, like, NYC is, like, one of the food meccas of the world. So that's why I really want to go there. There's just going to be, like, a lot of eating streams and exploring different spots that I think you guys would like. And I have a little bit of time off from the restaurant in February. So hopefully we can do that at that point. And that would be shocking to me if that does happen. Alvin! Yes, I need to make dehydrated veggie chips. Like, the options with the dehydrator are going to be endless, you guys. Like, you can even proof bread in there.
Well, the fact that you can have something on the dehydrator and still do your streams, you can just throw something
Exactly.
in and then go till the next day.
Yeah. Oh, cacio pepe. That's a good one too, Tommy. NY stream. Woo! Woo, woo. And so the other thing that dehydrators are good for, especially if you live in a humid climate, is refreshing things like crackers and chips that kind of go stale or not as crunchy. Pop them in the dehydrator for maybe an hour, and you'll be surprised how quick it actually dries it back out and it's still edible. So, like, it'll actually save you money in the long run. So there's been so many times out here where, like, you buy a bag of crackers, and how often? So I don't eat crackers that often, but sometimes it's good with, like, cheese, or if you make charcuterie board or something. And then they go in the pantry for months, right? You go back to them, you're like, oh yeah, I want some crackers. And they're just not as crunchy. Throw them in the dehydrator for a little bit, and that'll save the cracker or the chip. Matt! Oh, that's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. You don't like them, but you figured I would, so you'll allow it. Thank you, man. Very generous this morning. I love the water stream sound behind us. And today on Cook with Kate, a gentle waterfall in the background. Look at these two. Muscle wars. He's like, I will eat you. Ah! Let go. You're crazy, bro. Feels like a lot of chefs and cooks don't get the chance to go out and eat too much. You know what? That's so true, Indog. And to me, part of the reason is because of the days off that we get. So, like, Sammy and I are off on Monday, Tuesday, but a lot of good restaurants also close on those days. So, like, for us to be able to go out and eat, not really a thing, or at least not at the spots that we really want to go to. So yeah, it kind of sucks. We don't eat out that much, but as I get older, I've realized that just, like, saving up my money and, like, having a nice little trip somewhere instead of spending money on, like, useless going out dinners here where we live, so much better. So, like, I'd rather save my money than eat at the same restaurants over and over here just to say that I went out for dinner. I'm someone that gets bored very easily, so I always need to be looking forward to new things. A fork? My nail works just as good, Matt. And plus, I don't think I like the scraping sound from the fork. Ugh, that would give me shivers, like nails on a chalkboard. Oh yeah, an SOS pad. So we usually use the green scrubbies. at work, but even the green scrubby doesn't even take off all this. So I kind of gave up on that. Just scrape it off with what God gave us, our nails. But even sometimes then I still scrape it and it gives me like shivers. It's like, oh, not good. Yeah, working during the busy hours and normal eating hours. It's so true, Matt. The customer always comes first. You're sad you missed the Bennies need coffee. We'll have to do some more. For sure. We'll do a crazy Benny thing again. Soapy mussels. Sounds delicious. No, it doesn't. We're almost there anyways. I'm gonna have a seafood feast. Can't wait. A customer doesn't come first. You were here at 7 a.m. and your customer only got here at 3 p.m. You can't stand mussels, Big Davy. How come? Just like the texture? That's what I figure for a lot of people is the texture. Because they don't taste too seafoody or like a weird fishy flavor. Usually really fresh tasting. But maybe you've had overcooked mussels as well, and then they just get rubbery and weird. Like that's also could be a reason why some people don't like shellfish, because when it is overcooked, think of the concentration of the flavor. When you start to dry it out, is the flavor is going to get stronger and stronger, and then the texture is going to get more rubbery. So that could ruin shellfish for a lot of people, and then they never go back, which is sad. Chewy, snotty things. Fair enough. But do you like clams then? Yeah, scraping bags and bags per day gets a little monotonous, hey?
Just a wee bit.
I've been there, man. I really like mussels in like a curry style broth with coconut milk. Probably one of my favorites. And they're good spicy as well. Like that's why I chose to do some chorizo in the mix today. Shellfish likes that little bit of spice, that heat, to kind of balance out the sweet and brininess. Sammy's getting into an oyster already. You used to like clams as a kid, but now you can't. The restaurant ruined you. No. Matt, I can't say that on stream, but I'll giggle at it. Sammy's Shucking. Gave it the sniff test. There is some Meyer lemon half over there if you want it with that. Okay, who here is oyster fiends? We got some oyster lovers in chat at least. Is Sammy a chef as well? He is. He is carrot potato. He's been cooking longer than I have, and he's actually like one of my mentors, I would say. He's taught me a lot about the kitchen life. Sammy and I worked together
so good.
for 4 years in restaurants, in different restaurants. Okay, we have cleaned the mussels at least. This guy keeps opening up. He's crazy. Same with these guys. I think we need to put some ice on there. So we're not cooking them quite yet, so I'm not going to take the beards off until we plan to cook them, but like look how grody that water got. So good thing that we scrubbed them, hey? Just trying to keep them grouped together in here. He pretends he's the chef's mask. Gotta bug Sammy, hey? Daddy, how are you? You love scallop, but it's hella expensive in Denmark. Crazy. I know, hey? Sammy's such a kid. I will shuck a couple oysters for us right now. I'm kind of hungry. Oysters for breakfast, I guess? He's feeding me. You loosened it up. Cheers, guys. There's the inside of the oyster. That's what it looks like. A soggy, kind of slimy thing. Some people do lemon on there. You can do like a cocktail sauce, or another one's called a mignonette.
You want just some chipotle?
I think I'm just gonna do plain for this one. I'm okay with that.
They're really good.
We're going back. Mm-hmm.
Shell up for you?
Yeah, there's no shell in there.
I don't know what I'm doing yet. There it is.
Yeah, at home, Sammy just keeps eating everything while I'm cooking. It's true.
Yeah.
Spoiled. Easily put down 3 to 4 oysters in a sitting. Oh yeah, like we've gone to some buck-a-shucks where we've gotten like 2 dozen.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna put those aside for now. Coming in for some oyster shucking. So you always need a cloth. And then this crazy shank looking device is called an oyster shucker. So it's got kind of a pointy tip. It's not sharp though. And then the cloth's gonna protect you from stabbing yourself. Yeah, yeah. You'll just keep the shells. Yeah, I love oyster shells, hey? They're so nice. Hot sauce is so good. Yeah, Big Davy. We are out on Vancouver Island. So West Coast Canada. Yes, Indog, yuzu. Like a yuzu sauce or like a ponzu, really freaking good. So here's our oyster, and we want it this way up. So this is the top of the shell, let's say. We want it this way. That's how we're gonna open it, and then we need to put the shucker right in that little crevice. So we're gonna go over here, fold the cloth kind of over that so that you don't stab yourself. And you just have that thing sticking out. And then we're gonna go, see how it's crazy? Nice and gently, kind of fit it into there. And you have to do this a few times to really know how it feels. This is a hard one. It's definitely not an easy task. Most of the time, I don't even know if I'll get into there. No, we're getting in. Okay, so slide it into the shell, and then once we're in, do a little twist to open it up. You guys can see that hopefully if you're on full screen. It looks pretty small to me. And then the part where the shell's connected to the oyster is usually right here, is the mussel that you need to loosen up. So we're gonna slide the shucker down that side, under the mussel. Like that. And the shells are really brittle, so that's the one thing you guys have to be careful of, is to not get it into the oyster, because that's just not appetizing. And you clean the shell off, and then this is what we're looking at. And then, so the oyster is still attached to the bottom shell at the same part. So I usually go from the back part of the oyster and just slide it along. You want to make sure that the oyster stays as much intact as possible. See a little piece of shell sneaking in there. And then the way that we serve them at work is we just flip them over. Because that side does not look that appetizing, right? So kind of sneak it out of the shell. Give it a little flip. And then that's the really nice kind of presentation side. And then if we look inside, you can see all the oyster liqueur in there, which you do not want to dump out at all. Sammy's gonna give me a little bit of hot sauce. A little bit of hot sauce. Oysters in the morning. Cheers, guys. What is Sammy doing? Peanut butter oysters? Who knows, guys? A lot of people like to grill oysters as well if you're not big on raw seafood.
Or oysters, Rockefeller.
Welcome into the Discord, Carrot Potato. Okay, we're going back. Mmm. The hot sauce is kind of smoky. That's really good.
Mm-hmm. They would be from the Chipotle's.
I know. But they didn't know that.
Oh.
Okay, and this way, all of the shells and stuff keep contained on the cloth. And we just keep that together. Sometimes I even keep...
Do I get a second one? Or
oh,
do
okay.
you just check for yourself?
Checking for ourselves.
Like.
Sometimes we also keep... Okay, we're going to go with the big one.
Mm-hmm.
The big one, guys, for Sammy. Like a little thing of water nearby to just kind of rinse off the shucker if you get a lot of shell shrapnel everywhere. You definitely don't want to either bite down on the oyster shell when you suck it back or even have that go down your throat. Not a good thing. Yeah, you were somewhat normal, Matt. It's true, man. Okay, so oyster number 2. Slide it under there. This one's gonna be so big. These are definitely more difficult than the ones we get at work. The ones at work have a much thinner shell. And actually, sometimes I've even cracked the bottom shell in half trying to get the top one off. Kind of crazy. And then what that shows is the oyster having the brittle shell. Okay, there we go. We got in. Gotta be patient. So when oysters have brittle shells like that, that's from acidification in the ocean. So that is not a good thing to be seeing at this point. That means the waters are changing and they can't develop their shells quick enough anymore. Okay, so this guy, slide it along. Oh, he's a big one. And whenever you start with a raw oyster, you always got to give it a sniff test. And this one's kind of iffy to me, actually. We might have to cook that one.
Mm-hmm.
It should smell like nothing. That was one of the ones that was open, though, in the fridge.
Yeah. Well,
so this one kind of has like a funky sea smell in it. There's kind of some weird...
Just smells like the sea a little bit. More like dried seaweed.
Yeah, it kind of smells like seaweed. So you have to be discerning if you're going to eat it raw, right? If you think it's kind of off, don't go ahead and eat it because you can get sick from it. So we'll leave that one in the ice, in the shell like that, and we'll just cook it up later. That way we'll know that all the bacteria is killed.
Well, I guess we're going to fry an oyster and see how it works.
Here, we got some oil over there.
Yeah.
Okay, fried oyster for Indog. When do you have to wear a beard net in the kitchen?
Nope.
Sammy doesn't have to, but there is probably a certain max length of a beard.
Nope.
Yeah, hearing the audio but not seeing it, Matt, totally. It is with a Y. Need coffee. You've seen people spell it both ways. It's actually just Sam. It's not even Samuel. But I'm the only one who calls him Sammy. And you guys. It's allowed. Yeah, kids, if you're allergic to sea fish, do not eat this or do this at home. Okay, going in. Getting that workout. Just a little bit difficult, guys. Oh, wiggle it in. Okay, now the twist. Twist and slide. Have you guys watched any episodes of like crazy oyster shucking competitions? This one smells good. He is your Sammy. With a Y is like saying sandwich. I am in. I have gotten in. So now, slide down to the other side. And flip it. Just like that. That's a good looking oyster, guys. What are you having on it?
Hot sauce.
He's going for the hot, a south. Yeah, you just need a little bit. That's a fatty. Fatty for Maddie. Nom.
I'm trying not to spill out the liquor.
Ooh. There you go.
That is oyster.
Okay, I'll open this last one and we'll fry up 2 oysters today.
Yum. Delicious.
Clean, clean.
So good. You want to keep that one, Ashley?
I'm down to keep some shells. I'll make some sort of craft from it. Crafting with Kate. Okay, so after this, we're gonna get into prepping all the stuff for our clam and mussel broth. And I think the clams are gonna be nice and rinsed as well at this point. You only need to do it for, well, depending on how sandy they are, you can check the bottom. If it's not too sandy though, about half an hour. If it's really sandy, do it for an hour, but switch out the water halfway through. A hammer might work better. No, Matt. And you will disrupt the beauty that's inside. Oh, I'm getting good at this. We don't want no shell. That's a beauty as well. That one's like perfect.
Just eat it. If it's good, just eat it.
It's good. We're gonna eat it. I think I'm gonna just go with a spritz of lemon though. Oh! I forgot to turn that timer off. Guess what, Stream Elements? We already got the dehydrator. You are no longer needed. Thank you. Yeah, I'm greedy. I want another one. Yeah, Indog. Anonymous donation yesterday bought the entire dehydrator for us. And they said Merry Christmas. Literally shocked still. Don't know what to do. The generosity on here is insane. Yeah, I'm so pumped.
You want a little more hot sauce?
No, I'm just gonna go with some lemon. Couple drops. Where'd Doggo go for a nappy?
I put it upstairs, yeah.
Cheers, guys. Can't wait to send you guys jerky snacks. Like pork jerky, turkey jerky, beef jerky, chicken jerky. The list goes on. Salmon jerky. Oh. Smoked salmon jerky. Mmm.
Oysters and marshmallows.
This guy. That oyster tasted like really fruity.
Considering
Biltong. Oh yeah. And actually Buff Bagwell, a fellow viewer, Carrot Potato, has his own restaurant in the UK. He makes his own. I'll have to get his recipe. Excuse me. Okay. I'm gonna go for a quick bathroom break, and then we'll make this broth and get cooking. It is 11:23 already.
I'm making peanut butter and marshmallows first. Four minutes to go pee, everyone. Quick. Peanut butter marshmallows first. You'll see. Yeah, Caitlin's a really noisy peer. You can hear like all the time. Shh, it's not the water.
What?
Huh?
What are you guys doing? Nude. Nude, watching from the shadows. Okay, so we got some stuffs here. Let's check it out. I showed some people that were here in stream early. Everyone has 4 minutes to go pee. So this is some of the stuff going into the broth. We are done with that. So, stuff going into the broth. We have dill, spring onion, green onion, scallion, whatever you want to call it. Some fresh parsley, lemon, obviously. Lemon and seafood, always a great combo. A couple of bay leaves maybe to throw in there. Nice big bulb of fennel. I just picked this flat leaf kale from the garden. So it's not as chewy as like the curly leaf kale, and this is the first time harvesting from my plants outside. So that's awesome. A really good vegetable to grow in the winter out here at least. Some garlic and tomato. And then on the side here, we have some chorizo, which I think I'm just gonna take out of the casing and just kind of keep it in little pieces. So maybe I'll do that first since that's the messy stuff. Leave that aside, and I'm probably only going to use 3 of the links today. Dill, green onion, and parsley, Matt. Dill, green onion, parsley. If we pop over to the stovetop for a sec, see Sammy's madness. Chorizo. Yeah, these are for sure natural casings. You can see the webbing from the intestine. Hey, Mrs. Syntax, how are you? Welcome in. time to play with sausage. Ooh, and it's a hot one too. Good. We'll add a little bit of spice. So it's pretty easy to get the sausage out of the natural casing. You just kind of have to untwist the end and then literally start squeezing it out. The worst thing to do on stream. And then I'll just take it off in like little pieces like that. And then we'll quickly fry that up and then start building our broth off of that. Yeah, this is what chorizo looks like over here, Big Davy. Mrs. Syntax, you're good. So busy, so not around as often. Aw, well, we are glad to have you here whenever you have time. I know holiday season is pretty crazy. This is like a very light colored chorizo.
Yeah, there's not much paprika in it.
It smells really good though, so that's okay. Yeah, Matt rocking the purple knife today. It happened. What does yours look like, Davey? I mean, I've made Mexican style chorizo before, which is not ever in a casing as well. Yours is cured. Ah, so that's like the dry cured Spanish chorizo then. I've had that when I was in Spain. It's really, really good. You can use that one for this as well. Oh, chorizo with eggs and papas fritas. Hell yeah. That's a breakfast. I also love chorizo. I think it's like one of my favorite sausages. You don't know a single person that doesn't love chorizo. Exactly, yeah. And the fact that you can get it spicy or mild or medium. I really like that. And we've made chorizo on stream before as well. And I think for that I did fresh ground pork in the meat grinder and then we spiced it up ourselves. It was really, really good. Your girlfriend doesn't like chorizo? Why? What kind of tragedy is this? Okay. I think I'm only going to do the 2 because we have a lot of shellfish to eat. And then we'll pack away the other 3 for something else. So we're actually making lunch right now, Mrs. Syntax. And we are doing steamed clams and mussels that are fresh with a beer broth and some chorizo and vegetables in there. I think it's going to be yummy. I just need to wash my hands now from this. Hey, thanks for the biddies, Mrs. Syntax. Need coffee. You like making home fries with scallions and chunks of chorizo, putting a fried egg on top, letting the yolk mix in? Hell yeah. Egg yolk is such a good, like, natural sauce, especially with potatoes. That's a must, for sure. Okay, so chorizo can go aside, and now we can start doing some chopping. Choppity chopping. Skybox, you're coming home for dinner. Come on over. Yeah, that purple knife is badass. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking the fennel apart. So this is a fennel bulb. Mostly just going to use this, but we can use the top part. So the stems are okay to use in like a broth of sorts if you want to make a stock or a broth. They're quite strong though. And then these little stringy parts are called fennel fronds. And these are actually really good. So like, I can eat that. It's not super strong. So we're gonna take some really nice small pieces of it, which are usually like right in the center here. And we're gonna use that for garnishing. So first thing I always do with fennel is just start to take off the stems from the bulb. Blue, you almost missed the seafood, it's true. We just kind of finished prepping up the seafood and eating some oysters. How's it going today? Okay, so like those little fennel fronds are perfect. But I'm not gonna try to cut them out of there. Sammy's got some jet puffed. And then next step, I always just trim off the bottom of the bulb because it's usually a little bit dirty. Like that. And then sometimes if you're not comfortable with how some of the outer layers look, you can also take that off and then you'll find like cute little fennel bulbs growing in there. I think that's good. And then we can just come in with a paring knife to kind of clean up these little bruised parts. We're not going to throw that piece out though. I think we'll just clean it up. Hey, Rolo. You use a ton of marshmallows? Yeah, Sammy's been on a peanut butter marshmallow square kick. And they're so yummy. And then his little secret thing that he puts in them is score bits. So there's like a little bit of extra crunch. Pretty deadly. Might be the cause of diabetes for me. Just dripping peanut butter on my knife.
And caramel.
Hey, pickled eggs. How's it going, man? Okay, so now we can go in half. And then we'll see what's inside.
Eggs, what's up? How's the rest of your stream, dude?
What on earth was that bowl of marshmallows?
Oh, just wait.
Okay, one more time, Sammy.
Just wait. Yeah, just switch cameras. It's easy.
Happiness. That's what that is.
Look at that.
Oh my god. Diabetes. That's what that is. Okay, so fennel bulb. There is a core here on the bottom, so we're going to cut that out. Sometimes if you leave a little bit of it, it's okay, especially if you're cooking it. But if you are going to serve the fennel raw, which today we're not, you definitely want to get all of that out of there.
I'll put the recipe up in Discord for everyone.
So the way that I take the core out is just cut alongside of it on both sides. Kind of like taking a cabbage core out, and you should be able to just push it out. If you didn't get all of it the first time, go back over, and then we get something that looks like that. Yeah, Matt's selling subs for nudes today, guys. Yeah, Sammy? He's got peanut butter in his beard. What is going on over there?
Where? I do.
Holy, were you snacking on the spatula or something?
Not yet.
Mmm.
The whisk I was. Here's the spatula. That's yours.
I can't right now. I'm good. I'm in fennel land. Okay, so now I want to get these nice fronds out. So I just kind of broke that open. break it off, and we'll set those aside for garnish later.
Ta-da!
Holy. Yeah, after dinner snack.
And then I'll just harden up and be delicious.
Oh my gosh.
Smell that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, this is what Sammy does, Matt. Exactly. Matt, thank you for gifting the sub to Mrs. Syntax. Seriously, dude, 20 gifted subs already in the channel. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this in a quarter like this, and it's just a little bit easier to take apart once you do that. Then we can start to cut it down into smaller pieces. This fennel grew crazy. It's like all curly. It's wild. Yeah, best casserole ever. I don't even think we're gonna use all this bulb, probably just half. We'll set aside that half and this together for something else.
Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. Peanut butter and marshmallow something. Exactly, Matt.
It's 1 pack of 250 grams of marshmallows, a half a pound of butter, 1 pack of butterscotch chippets, a half a pack of score chippets, and 1 cup of peanut butter. Then you mix it all up, make it all happy, and then you put the marshmallows in when it's all melted together, and then it's delicious. So I made that for the kids at work because I kept on saying I was going to bring them some, and I kept on forgetting it at home. So today we're going to go out and drop it off to the kids.
Oh yeah, we're going for a car ride.
Yeah.
Car ride! Woohoo!
Yeah. So we're gonna drive to the kids at my work and drop it off and say thank you for taking care of my job while I was sick.
This guy, hey?
Just trying to help out.
Putting it into ice cream, Rolo?
Oh my! I was thinking of melting
You're
the marshmallows
sick.
more and making it into a Rice Krispie square. Right? Like just think about that for a couple minutes.
We can't.
It's
We
so
cannot.
good. It's so good.
Matt, you just don't like non-subs. Yeah, you're the best, man. Okay, so now we got to think about how this stuff is going to be eaten with the clams and the mussels. So typically people eat clams and mussels with like a little fork, like to stab them out of there, and a spoon to spoon the broth, right? So here's another instance where we want all of our kind of garnish, let's say, to be easily edible with a spoon. So we don't want to leave it in this long of a length. So I'm going to go and slice it pretty thin this way. And then if we turn it that way, I think if we cut it into 3 and have like little pieces like that, that's going to be perfect. That way you can get a little bit of fennel in each bite, but it's not overwhelming either. Need coffee? Thanks for gifting the sub to Rolo. Man, you guys are so generous to each other. So much love for everyone in this channel. You know how happy that makes me to see that? In a world where there's like so much hatred and crazy shit going on, you guys keep it 100. Thanks for the bits, On Dog the chef. I use you, Matt? I would say not. I have not asked for anything. You choose to be here, my friend. This is your happy place. It is also my happy place. Favorite ice cream sundae, peanut butter parfait. Okay, Skybox. So that was mine for a long time too, until Sammy showed me this nonsense called a pecan mudslide at Dairy Queen. They don't make it anymore. But if you ask for that, they will make it for you. This is a real thing that you need in your life. So what it is the ice cream sundae layered with the fudge sauce, caramel sauce, and salted pecans. It is insanity, but so delicious. Oh, you've had one before. That was mind-blowing to me because I love pecans. Matt, thanks for the biddies as well. You guys are on fire today. On fire. Also add cashews. Dairy Queen has cashews?
What?
This is madness, I tell you. If we keep talking about ice cream, I might have to have some later. So, like, what kind of weird people don't eat ice cream in the winter, right? Like, that's always been a regular thing. It's like, oh, yeah. Or is that just, like, a Canadian thing? To be able to eat ice cream in the winter and not get frozen from it. You just added frozen custard to your menu? What? Rolo? I didn't know that you worked in a restaurant. So, like, this little part of the front totally can add into the broth. Doggo! We got a doggo! I don't know if she likes fennel. This is gonna be a test, guys. Doggo. Hey, just wait. Do you like fennel? Hey, come here.
Have you ever had fennel before?
Come here. Over here. Hey, sit. Sorry, that was a bad throw. Nope. Looks at it, looks at me. It's gonna be a hard pass on the fennel, guys.
What are you trying to serve me? You like it? Nope. Not at all.
Oh, in-dog with the urge for a pecan pie.
Uh-huh.
You should follow that urge.
Man.
You should definitely follow that urge.
Near, I got an urge for a pecan pie.
There is no room for that in the fridge. We just made a casserole of marshmallow and peanut butter. Love how we're calling this a casserole.
Good.
Pistachios and ice cream are good too. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Pistachio gelato in Italy though? Hell yeah. Yeah, exactly, Blue. Is this some kind of sick joke she says to us? Rolo, that is so cool. I've always dreamt of owning an ice cream shop. I really enjoy making ice cream. Okay, let's put that into a container. And then we're going to have some tomatoes, some cherry toms. I know. This is seriously why I love my community, is there are so many talented people in the chat, always. Like, sometimes it's not even food related, but we got some brilliant people. Pistachios are so expensive, it's true. It's crazy, hey? We are all just nutty, Matt. Yeah, imagine adulthood without food. I can't, guys. But then we also have to realize how privileged we are in this world that we live in to have access to this food and being able to eat it and kind of never be hungry. Like, that's a serious thing in the rest of the world. And sometimes I think we forget how fortunate we are. But food is definitely the one thing that can bring people together. From, like, any race or religion or culture, is like, food is the one thing that will always be a constant. And I think that's why I love working with it so much. Oh my god, me on Iron Chef, I would get my ass kicked. But something like Chopped would be really fun, I think.
Okay.
We gotta show Matt the bone.
Okay. I'll let her go get it.
So Sam got Posh a Christmas gift
Come on. Get your bone.
today when they went for a car ride to the store to get the chorizo. No need coffee. I mean, maybe at this moment, you're the only one that doesn't work in the industry, but that's just because of the viewers that we have during this time slot that I stream. But if you come back tomorrow for dinner, you'll have all sorts of people.
Come here. Gosh. Come here.
The Canadian version, wooden chef. So bad.
Let's go.
Posh, let's see.
Let's go over here.
Come here.
Over here.
Come here. Come here. Are you guys ready for this? I don't think so. Come here. What do you got? Okay, come here. She'll
Poshy.
literally just walk around
Poshy.
with it.
Gosh, come here. Come here.
Let's see.
Come
Let's
here.
see. Go show the stream. She's like, I can't carry it. Holy shit. She's really happy. Really, really happy.
I'm gonna sit on Sam's foot.
That's a bone, hey?
You good? Okay.
Gone. The happiest doggo. Okay, so working into some kale here. So this variety of kale is called lacinato, or another word for it is dinosaur kale. So the leaves are a lot darker than your traditional curly kale, which is actually called winter boar. I've learned all this stuff by volunteering at the farm earlier this year. And so, weird little bug just came off. I'm just gonna take this off. I don't know what that is. Looks like peanut butter. There's just peanut butter everywhere. So these are really small leaves, but the stems are still pretty stringy and chewy. So the first step I always do, we already wash these. So just kind of, we call it zipping out the stem, just because it's not super nice on the palate to eat. Throws out the rule, never eat anything bigger than your head. Straight up, Rolo. And then we're just gonna kind of finely chop this, or chiffonade, if you will, for the broth. And then this will get thrown in close to the last minute so that it doesn't start to fall apart. And that's our little bit of health going into the seafood today. So these leaves that are a little bit bigger, I'm gonna slice them in half lengthwise, like that. And then I always like to kind of stack them on top of each other. And we're just gonna thinly slice it this way. They almost look like broccoli leaves. They kind of do, hey? Yeah, this is one of my favorite types of kale, actually. It's much nicer to eat than the curly kale. It's not as weird and chewy. And that's obviously why I chose to grow it for myself as well. And also it grows in the winter here, so it's really hardy against frost or cold temperatures. Then we're gonna stack the rest of the small little leaves. Broccoli greens are really good. Same with cauliflower greens. They're actually really nice and sweet. But like those things just get thrown away before the florets or the heads of that vegetable go to the supermarket. Like we don't even get a chance to even eat that for some reason, and I don't understand that. Okay, we got that. And then we will be kind of moving into our herbs. You have a question. Trying to find the term for a bed of greens that a steak or something would sit on. It's called meat. A salad? Pretty sure it's just called a salad, Matt. Never have vegetables with steak. Rule number 1 with cooking. Okay, so let's pick a little bit of parsley. And all of these herbs that we're using with the shellfish today are not super strong, which you have to keep in mind. So I wouldn't use anything like a rosemary, a thyme, or a sage, because it will just overpower the light kind of flavor of the seafood. So anything along the lines of like parsley, dill, green onion, basil, that's okay. Even cilantro might be too strong. There is a proper term for it, Matt. I've never heard of it called anything other than a salad. You believe it is a French term? Oh my gosh. You better get Googling then, my friend. I cannot help you. Yeah, les salades. Love it. Thank you, Blue, for that. Why are all cooks sarcastic? Like, we just love the sarcasm. So I'm gonna chop these all individually. I'm gonna go with a pretty fine chop as well. You're not a cook, you're just British. Okay, so most people interested in food then enjoy some form of sarcasm. Yeah, just a bed of greens. We will plate this steak onto this bed of greens. Chefs are the most fun people in the world. That's amazing, Blue. They're pretty crazy. I've met quite a few different chefs, and they definitely all have their own personality. And it's always kind of mind-boggling to me how we can all still work together and not just kill each other. It's definitely like a sort of a misfit family that just somehow works. It's pretty awesome. They're not as crazy as politicians or criminals or school janitors. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, parsley looks good. It doesn't look like lawn clippings too much. That's when you know you're there. Just a little bit like fresh cut grass. Okay, into our scallions. Why didn't I put it into a bouquet garni? Because I wanted it to be distributed throughout the broth. I like the flavor that this is going to give throughout all of the broth. And that way we can eat it with the seafood as well. So I think those 2 scallions is going to be a good amount. But if you wanted more of like a clean and clear broth, then you could totally put it into a bouquet. And that way you could take it out afterwards. But I like to chop it, and that way there's more flavor released as well when you chop the herbs up, because there's more surface area for it to release the flavor from. So we're just gonna go finely sliced here. I always start at the white end and go from there. And just keep your index finger on your knife so you know the thickness that you're cutting. We're almost there, guys. Almost time for foods. And then after we munch a little bit, get a little bit of food in me, then I'll quickly whip up the Korean barbecue marinade for the pork shoulder. And then we are done for the day. Pretty excited for dinner tomorrow. It's gonna be amazing. You guys in here know Momofuku or David Chang? That's what our meal for dinner tomorrow is gonna be based off of. Oh, these are strong. My eyes. Getting a little bit emotional today on stream. It's okay, guys. We'll make it through. Okay, now dilly time. One of my favorite herbs ever. Thanks to my Ukrainian roots, I would say. Oh, I love his show. Yes, Rolo. Yeah, so tomorrow for dinner we're making bo sam, which is a Korean style, or like a Korean family style meal served with some sort of like braised pork. So we're gonna do the pork shoulder marinated and then rotisserie. And then it's kind of done with lettuce wraps. So we picked up some bib lettuce, and then you make some rice to go along with it. Ginger scallion sauce we're gonna make tomorrow. And a sauce called Sam sauce, which is like a Korean chili paste mixed with some miso. And we'll make a couple other fixins with whatever else I have left over in the fridge. He's a baby king. Oh, I love when she says that in the episode. Baby king. Ah, Kyle, sounds good. You're heading to bed. Well, have a wonderful sleep, and thank you for spending your night with us. Yeah, Blue. I was telling Sammy that when he brought the oysters home last night. I was like, oh, that's perfect, because the bo sam has oysters in it. And he's like, no. I'm eating the oysters tomorrow. I was like, okay, fine.
We can go get some oysters today on our way home again, I guess.
Maybe we'll grab a couple more oysters for the bo sam tomorrow. That's such a funny component, hey? It's like lettuce wraps and then just raw shucked oysters alongside. Very interesting. But I could see those being kind of like a palate cleanser almost. Because all of the other stuff that goes along in the bo sam is like very spiced and very flavorful. It's a flavor bomb, exactly. And I've made this before on stream. In the early stages of the stream, not even in this kitchen. And it was really, really good. So it's time for round 2 of bo sam. It's just too delicious. And this time, I'm gonna kind of make it more my own, since I've already done it once before. And making bo sam at home, way less expensive than going out to one of his restaurants to eat it. I think the bo sam at the restaurant is around $100. And we can make our own form of bo sam for probably less than $50. Just takes a little bit of effort and knowledge, which I'm going to share with you guys. I think it would be a really good meal to serve at like New Year's or New Year's Eve, or even like a Christmas style party. because it's a lot of sharing food. So it's good for a lot of people to kind of just pick at and make their own combinations. Oh, my nose is running. Okay, let's clean up our board. Next step is just to smash a little bit of garlic. And then we're just going to mince it into the broth with the press. That way we won't make too much of a garlicky mess. Gwecky, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. So, purple garlic. I might have to go blow my nose, guys. I'm only going to do 2 cloves of this because these have been pretty strong in flavor, even though they're really small. So I don't want to overpower the broth. I want to keep things very nice and balanced. Especially when there's stuff as delicate as shellfish being cooked into it. Give that a little smash since it doesn't want to peel. Hey Steve, how are you, man? Good to see you in here. How's my fellow Canadian? Okay, so that's that. And then we have that half lemon. And I don't know if I'm going to cut into this one. Probably just leave that one cut in half for now. Oh, garlic shrimp. Why is it so good, hey? Garlic and shrimp, one of the best combos for sure. You might become a fellow Canadian one day too. Woohoo! That'd be awesome. Okay, I'm just gonna go blow my nose. She'd be running. And then we're gonna get cooking, guys. We made it. What's up? Okay, so we need a big old pot to get started to cook all this shellfish in. You don't like garlic shrimp, Blue? Yeah, do you hear her eating her bone? She's going nuts. It's going good. Good to hear, Steve. It was cold for a while, but the weather is getting better. Phew. Yeah, we had a really rainy day yesterday here. Just like rained in, fogged in. Everything's covered. But today it's nice and sunny, so I'll take it. Hey, Flamin' Delta. It's going good. How are you doing today? Blue, you like garlic and you like shrimp. But you don't like garlic shrimp. Okay. I might actually do 2 pots. That way we can cook the shellfish evenly. We'll see. So we're gonna be cooking the clams first, and then the mussels, since they don't take as long to cook. We're gonna get this big pot going. I don't know what's in here, so I'm gonna give it a wipe. Residue from the dishwasher. Okay, so broth time. I'm going to just make up a little mix of some vegetable stock. It's from the Better Than Bouillon, just for a little bit of extra flavor. But you can totally use water. It's okay. And then while that's heating up, I can go grab a can of beer. And we're just going to be using a cheap beer today. We're going with a lager. Wow. So not a ton of flavor. I don't know what's going on.
All their stuff done in one day.
Holy. Sam's dad caught or hunted how many deer? Warning, there might be graphic images.
Graphic images coming in. Close your eyes if you can't handle it. My dad just got 3 deer.
3?
3
That's
in one day.
amazing.
2 does and a buck. And the buck is 10 points. That's a good sized deer. Probably like 280 pounds.
Lime beer or cranberry beer. That was good. -30 to -40. Holy shit, Steve. Not even the middle of December yet. That's crazy. So, just poured a liter of water. Why are we putting fruit in beer? Because sometimes it makes a delicious combo, Blue. Why you hating like that? Okay, we're gonna go a little bit light on the broth, just because we don't want it too salty. There's a little bit of salt from the shellfish as well. So I never salt the broth until the very end, because she can get salty really quick. You can't hunt does very much here. You need a special tag.
No, you do. They go for a lottery and they won 2.
So did you hear that, Matt? Sam's dad went into a lottery for the tag and they got 2 doe tags.
Out of 5 people, I think, so. 4 people.
Hey, that's looking good. Need coffee. Just admits it. Yes, we are weird. Okay, there's that. I'm gonna pour that into the pot and get it heating up. But you don't need that much broth, guys, to cook seafood in. You don't need it completely submerged. It's called steaming for a reason. So you just need like a small amount that just comes up enough to make enough steam to get the shellfish to cook gently. And then once they open up, they're done. Don't Germans mix lemonade and beer all the time? That's called a shandy, pretty sure. Nutella. Oh, Matt. Okay, let's actually do this and get Sammy's dirty pot out of here. I'm gonna switch it to this one, since it's just better for the camera. I'm gonna go like a medium-high heat for now. It was vegetable broth, Matt, and then I'm just going to get a can of beer to put into there as well. So I will be right back. 20 minutes till your lunch. We might be able to have lunch together, man. This is what I chose. A cerveza called Sol. 4.5%. pretty mild. Just throw the stupid vegetables in there. Wow. Wow, that's aggressive. Was that either Smash or Pokemon? Sammy's playing Pokemon. Cheers, guys. You gotta taste the alcohol that you're cooking with, right? It's good. Nice and light. Okay, we'll do it all. Okay, guys, twist my arm. Okay, there's that. And now, on the other burner, I think we're just gonna quickly cook some chorizo with the garlic. Yeah, like a desperado. Exactly, Blue. Exactly. Which, just need a little pan or pot. And then while we're waiting for that to come up, we need to slice up some of our bread. And we're gonna toast that up. That way we can dip it into the broth, soak up all that lovely stuff that we worked so hard to make. Can you have a swig of the good stuff? Of course, man. I'll share. And then you don't want to go too thin with your bread slices. Otherwise, it might just fall apart. I'm going to do probably something like that. Got a 15 euro coupon for Game Mania. That's cool. And then we're just going to make like little toasty toasts. I'm going to cut it in half that way. And then that way. That way we have like little bite-sized pieces. And then we're just going to broil that under the broiler in the oven.
Hey.
But that can be done at the last minute. Goes on our bacon tray. Doggo's cut off from the bone and she is not happy. There we go. The bread is so small. Yeah, I made this bread last week for the grilled cheese sandwiches. So I threw it in the fridge, keeping in mind that I would use it today. And that way it's a little bit stale, so it's really gonna soak up the broth well. Steve, has work slowed down? It was slow for a couple weeks around the end of November, but now it is picking up again because of Christmas parties, which is really good. It doesn't even look stale. Yeah, it's really not too bad still. Not too bad. Okay, broth is coming up. That's good. So kind of our next thing is taking the beards off of the mussels, right? Because now we're getting ready to cook them. Just gonna put a cloth on my cutting board so I don't get any kind of seafood juice on there that's raw. The beards, yeah, clam or mussels have beards, which is where they like attach to what they grow on. So that's called the beard. And they each have one, and that has to be taken off before you cook it. Otherwise, it just gets weird and chewy and just doesn't taste that good. I think we can throw in our chorizo and do this while everything's heating up. That way we can time it all out pretty perfectly. carrot potato. Thanks for the host. Whoa. Yeah, we made grilled cheese last week, but I'm always down to do it again. You just made a request for bacon wrapped jalapeno popper grilled cheese. What? This is craziness. Chew and Brew, how are you? Don't cancel your stream to just watch this. I will not allow this. Hey, you guys hear that sizzle? That's the chorizo. Okay, let's get into the beards. So we're just gonna pull the beards off. Basically killing the mussel at this point. So that's why you want to do it really close to cooking time. That way it stays as fresh as possible. And sometimes some of them you won't be able to get a beard off of there, and that's okay. Consider yourself lucky. Sometimes they're really big too and easy to take off. What's the difference between clams and oysters? Well, you can eat both of them raw. But I will show you the difference, Steve.
The size is definitely one.
The size and the shell. And one is a bivalve and one is a mollusk. So oyster, that was shucked earlier. And here's our little manila clam. So bivalve, mollusk. Just kind of breaking up the chorizo, guys. But it's basically cooked. I'm just going to take that off. And then our broth is coming up to a boil. So we can start rolling here pretty quick. Need coffee. Thank you so much for gifting the sub to Chew and Brew. You guys with your gifted subs today. Can't stop, won't stop. Thanks for keeping this channel alive and together, guys. It really does mean a lot to me. Yeah. Matt's gonna get upset now. He's like, I leave for 2 minutes. Hey, hey, Pizza Bob, how are ya? Good to see you in here.
Yo, Pizza Blob.
Pizza Blob. I'm good, man. How was your guys' stream earlier? It looked fun. You have had oysters before, Steve. Well, that's pretty good for being in Saskatchewan, then. Hopefully they were nice and fresh. Did you have it raw? Okay. These are the beards. They have been taken off of the mussels. Man, I love raw oysters. Yeah, we shucked up 6 earlier on stream. That was our breakfast. That was brekkie. Okay, broth is ripping. So I'm gonna go to the stovetop cam for now. Hey, Norges! Whew! We're steaming. We're steaming. How's it going, Norges? What's your guys' favorite sauce to put on a raw oyster? I'm always kind of torn. Like, I really like to keep it simple, so like hot sauce and lemon is kind of my go-to. Your shucking knife is elite. Oh, that's good, Norges. Okay. So, going over here, we need to do a little bit of setup for a sec. So this is how we are going to cook our shellfish today. So I'm going to put the clams into the pot first, get them going, because they will take a little bit longer than the mussels. And then we're just going to steam them in that broth that we made. So it's beer and vegetable stock together. And then once they just start to open, we're going to take them out. I got this bowl here that we're going to be serving it in. We'll take the clams out as soon as they're cooked, put them into that bowl, put the mussels in. They should open up within 20 to 30 seconds. Put those on top, and then we can build our broth into it. So we'll be putting some fennel, tomato, some garlic, and herbs and kale, and then probably some butter and hot sauce as well. Tapatio sauce, that's a good one too. Need coffee. Surprised I'm using beer, not wine. Sometimes it's fun to switch it up, Matt. Yuzu or lemon juice with some thinly sliced chilies. Nice in dog. That sounds really nice and fresh. And then the other thing that we need for our broth is some butter. Always got to get that butter in with your shellfish. So I'm just going to cut off a couple of chunks. Hey, Miles. How's it going? And by a couple of chunks, probably gonna say like 3 tablespoons worth. So we're going in, guys. And I'm not just dumping the clams into there, because all of the sand that we rinsed from the clams is in the bottom of that bowl. So you really don't want to agitate too much. I'm just going to like gently kind of scoop them out of that water. And that way all the sand will keep rinsing off as we take it out. Thanks for the follows. Hojerific and Miles, welcome in, guys. Obviously, you want to get all of it in there as quick as possible so that it cooks around the same amount of time. And then, now that we're putting cold shellfish in, we really want to crank our heat. These are actually pretty nice and clean. Not too much stuff at the bottom of this bowl, which is great. And just give it a little wiggle. And then I'll be putting a lid on there ASAP. And you guys might be worried that the clams are going to cool off too much when we take them out of there, but we're going to be pouring the hot broth back over it, which is why it's totally okay. The magnet knife wall convince you to follow. I love that. So we'll let that happiness go. You were thinking about just watching this and not streaming. Well, we will be done pretty quickly. Yeah, no need to be shellfish. Ooh, here's some stuff happening in the pot. Sometimes you can hear the shells start to open. Pretty fun thing to make at home, for sure. And now that we're getting close, I'm going to turn the broiler on in the oven so that we got our little toasty toasts going. Yes, I love the puns, guys. Keep them coming. good to give it a little stir if there's quite a few in here. And then as we see, they're starting to open. So you can just pick them out as they open. That way they won't get overcooked. We're fishing. Fishing in our pot, guys. Oh, now we're rolling. Now we're rolling. Okay, now that it's coming up to a boil again, I'm going to turn it down just a bit. And that way I can keep picking them as they open. I'm not going to overcook too much. Like literally as soon as it opens, get it out of there, guys. Otherwise you're going to get rubbery shellfish. This is like one of my favorite parts, is just watching the shells open. So I'm going to take this off of the heat now, so it looks like they are all kind of opening together. That way we won't boil the heck out of them while we're kind of sifting through. And the clams that don't open at this point, I would throw out. Because that means they are probably dead to begin with, and you don't want to eat that anyways. So instead of trying to pry it open and getting a nice little funky smell, just take the loss and throw it in the garbage. So, steamy clams, they will stay hot for quite a while, so don't worry about that. Now, turn that back on for our mussels. You guys all good with me now? Do they scream when boiling? Lobsters sing when they boil. It's true. Norges, we don't boil baby pigs. Yeah, they open up really quick when that stuff starts going. You guys couldn't see anything? It was so steamy. Okay, that's coming up. Time to put the mussels in. You could see the second part. Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. Crazy stuff. Okay, now I am done with the raw seafood, so I'm just going to wash my hands. Oh, Sardinia. I'm in. And yeah, these will open really quickly. So I might even go in with my slotted spoon. As you can see, it's done. Smells fresh, so I know that's okay. What did I say, 20 seconds for these and they would open up? Maybe a little bit more heat, but most of them are opened. And sometimes with mussels, if the shell doesn't open, even after you've cooked them for quite a while, sometimes they just get stuck and don't want to open, but that doesn't mean they're not good to eat. So that's another little tip to keep in mind if you guys ever want to make this for yourselves. These are some really nice mussels, I have to say. They're heavy, they're meaty. I think there's someone home.
I think so.
Sammy's coming in for a taste test, guys. As I'm sure you would know.
Oh yeah. These mussels are really good. You don't need more salt in the broth.
Perfect.
Those are really tasty, guys.
Tasty shellfish. Time to get the shell discard bowl. Look how cloudy the broth got, hey guys? Okay, I think those are all happy. If it's Dad, you should see if he wants some of this. If it's Mom, she would say no. Ouch. Guys, did you know that steaming things are hot?
Wash. You want this? Let's go upstairs. Let's go.
I will be back to look at chat in a sec. Just this is taking more precedence. I hope you understand. My people. Come over with this bowl. Eat the shell. So that's that. Just gonna mix them up because all you can really see is the mussels on top. Thanks for the follow. I will not say your username. You will not trick me into saying terrible things on the internet. If one is bad, do you have to toss them all? No. Yeah, luckily that flavor doesn't really get imparted into the rest of the shellfish. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so you can try a little mussel. Look at that little guy. Just comes right out. Should come out nice and clean. Give it a smell if you're worried. Mmm. Yeah, this shellfish is salty. I wonder if they put something in the fish tanks, like some kind of salt, to keep them fresh. That would make sense. Betty dude, welcome in. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, these little tiny clams. They're so cute. Yeah, even those are pretty salty, and we didn't add any salt to the broth. Okay, so back over to the stovetop. All the shellfish is perfectly cooked. I'm going to just pour out a little bit of this. We don't need that much broth for all that. Now it is time to build all of the flavors. So garlic is going to be pressed in. Drop in some sticks of butter in. Those will melt up nicely. And plus the butter is going to help with the saltiness as well. That's going in. Chorizo, which is just cooked. Sammy's not going to leave any clams left for us.
I just had two.
The fennel.
Just two.
And we'll put the tomato in as well.
A pizza blob. Bro.
Bro broth.
Bro.
Sammy can't wait. The broiler is on. We're getting there, guys. Yeah, butter. We do have 3 cameras, carrot, potato.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a little stream investment that we did earlier this year.
Yep.
And it works really well for all of the different scenes so that you guys can see everything and still see me talking and explaining stuff.
We also got a stream deck that's able to control the cameras, so we were able to move things around without doing a bunch of stuff.
Fun.
Yeah.
I'm like my own little show producer now.
Yeah.
Give you guys the different angles. Who's the hot guy? Beard envy suddenly rising. Yeah, he just started growing that out too. There is more to come from that beard. Okay, so butter is melting. The chorizo's already cooked, so it's not like we have to cook it in here. And I cooked it ahead of time just so I can get a little bit of brown and caramelization on the sausage. That way we'll have a bit more flavor. Hey Pete, how are ya? Now I am going to go in with our herbs. So green onion, dill, and parsley. You want to do this near the end of you making your broth so that the herbs stay nice and green. Otherwise, they can turn brown if you put them in too early. And then our chopped up kale from the garden. A little bit of health going on. Sammy, who's home?
Farger.
The farger. Does he want shellfish?
He is having lunch already.
Okay. No shellfish for the farger. So Sammy put the tray of buns in and walked away, I see.
You're there.
Okay. Okay.
You want me to stand there and wait for him?
Sous chefs these days.
Wow.
We need a little rotation.
I went away from the shellfish so I didn't eat them.
Oh.
Now you're bringing me back.
Petty excuse. That's effing good, guys. Why is it so simple and so delicious? All I want to add now... Oh, I don't know if that's good, actually.
What's that?
I was going to add some of the smoked hot sauce. But I don't like how that looks.
No, just use a little bit of that.
Okay, we're going to add just a touch of hot sauce at the end to give that little kick. And then we're good. Bread is good. Toasty crisps. Maybe a tablespoon. I think I did good.
Yeah.
Okay. We did good. I am well, Pete. Thanks for asking. Okay. The masterpiece. We can get rid of this off as well since there's no more raw stuff. Sammy's going in for the pour.
Do you want to pour it or scoop the stuff on top and I'll just pour the broth in? The scooper's behind it. No, I mean like take the slot in.
It's gonna stick.
Okay.
I think we can pour it.
Okay, I will
Risk
pour.
it for the biscuit. Just don't get it on the camera. Yes. Holy. Lunch for two, they said.
Yum.
It's like, where did the seafood go? So who's coming over for lunch? Because I think we have some extras. How much longer do I want my hair to be? Probably until it's like almost at my butt. I'm pushing it. Be there in 18 hours. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good, Chew and Brew. We'll save some for you. Man, cooking at home, the best thing ever, because you can snack without getting in trouble. There's not too much snacking in kitchens, because you don't want your hand touching your mouth.
Why are you shit then?
Because you're you.
Okay.
But snacking at home, that's the best part about cooking. You have to know what you're tasting.
You should take a photo of that before I get in it.
Okay, I gotta take a photo of it before Sammy gets in it, he says.
I'm hungry.
He cannot wait.
I've had 2 oysters for breakfast.
Yeah, we are from BC. Are you from BC, Charles? Okay, we gotta be careful with this. Going over to the light over here.
The spot.
The spot.
Where is she going with my food? Where, everyone?
Back to the spot. Do it for the gram. As some of you may know, pretty active on Instagram. If you guys want to check out some other stuff that I've made on stream, or what I get up to when I'm not on stream.
I want this in my belly. It tastes so good. I don't think we could have developed a BC accent in like a year.
There's an accent in BC. Oh my god. So like we didn't even need to add the lemon juice, guys.
No.
Perfectly seasoned.
No, it's good.
There's a BC accent. What is this madness you speak of? I am me. That's all I know.
Dip some of that toast in.
Yeah, you gots to. Gotta get that dip. Does BC stand for beautiful, beautiful kitchen? No.
No, BC
Stands
stands
for
for bring cash.
Bring cash. It's so expensive to live here. But it's beautiful, so it sucks you in.
Yeah.
Before this, we were in Vancouver, and before that, I grew up in Alberta.
I took her away.
Yeah, dip in the bread. For sure the best part. Like, even at work, we give a couple pieces of bread with our shellfish, and people always ask for more. You can't deny them of that. Like, if you made that broth, of course you should let them enjoy all of it. Mmm. Mm-hmm.
Bread's really good.
It is great for this. This is gonna be like an all-day feast. But here's the good thing, guys, is now that we perfectly cooked the seafood, this can be eaten cold. Or you can take all of it from the shells that you don't eat and then transform it into like a pasta or something else.
You can do broth outside, no problem.
Yeah. That's how like a lot of southern cooking is done. Like what, the crab or crawfish boils?
Yeah.
You don't really taste the beer in the broth, guys, if you were wondering.
You could smell it though when you're cooking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could totally smell it before I put everything else together.
Okay.
Yeah, totally make pasta with the leftover, hey? Okay, let's get into this big guy. Let's go! You will let me eat you. Sniff test. We're good. It's a good looking mussel. Dip it in the broth. Mmm.
Tomato and everything on there.
Oh, Sammy chew his food? Nah. I like to call him a Hoover sometimes.
I didn't choke on my food.
No, you still have your cough.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for popping in, man. Hope you have a wonderful day. Maybe you can catch the stream tomorrow for dinner. He's a hoser, not a Hoover. Yes, Charles. You're such a hoser, eh? What are you doing, you hoser? I like how it's just a beard cam. So is Sammy Omdog? Yes. You are correct.
Correct.
Haha, you want to swim in it? Yeah. And this is where it's totally okay to eat with your hands, I think. Get some of this fennel and chorizo. Hoser is offensive to all Canadians. I take it as a compliment.
Bye, Steve.
I really like the kale in here too, guys. Take care, Steve. Good to see you, man. The tomatoes definitely add like a nice little sweet, fruity kick as well. See if I can describe the broth a little better for you guys. It's very balanced. It's like not overly salty, not too briny. It definitely does not taste fishy.
Nope.
At all. There's no real fish smell coming off of this, so that's when you know your seafood is really, really fresh. Carrot potato, you don't even know what hoser means. It's just like a Canadian slang word for being like extra Canadian. I don't know. It's from Bob and Doug, right? Look up Bob and Doug on YouTube, and then you'll know. The fennel is still a little bit crunchy, which is perfect. Because a lot of this stuff is really soft, right? Like the tomatoes cooked down. The shellfish doesn't have much crunch. Oh, I just got a little bit of sand. It happens. Hosers are the people who have to hose down the rink after they lose. Is this a fact? Not ever been told this. But it would make sense. Charles, are you Canadian? Yeah, eat the shell for extra crunch. Oh, I hate that feeling in my mouth though. It's like eggshell. That can ruin breakfast. Biting down or crunching down on a piece of eggshell, the worst. This really is yummo, Pete. Look at this trifecta. Fennel chorizo mussel. Wow, you grew up in the US near Quebec. Those crazy Frenchies. Hey, vegan gelato, you are in here. You heard a story where someone got pissed after being called that? Why? People get offended so easily these days. It's crazy. Sammy, show the bowl. Show the shell bowl. No, in that one. She full. It looks like we haven't even made a dent, hey? You don't mind eggshell in your egg. Are you joking? There's definitely a dent on Sammy's side. Like, look at that. Clear it out. My little side, nothing.
Sorry.
Slamming stuff around. You guys ever go out to eat shellfish somewhere and they have to like empty your bowl 2 or 3 times by the time you're done? It's a pretty good feeling. It's like you just keep piling it up higher and higher.
Hope somebody comes.
Yeah. But like this is the crazy thing with shellfish too, is like it's mostly all shell. Like it does take quite a bit to actually feel full. Wow, that's crazy, carrot potato. I cannot stand biting down on eggshell. It's like very offensive to me. Like, I feel so offended when I bite down on eggshell. It's like, how dare you, reptilian. It's nutritious. You guys are cray. Talking some smack today. Yeah, I can just like keep drinking the broth.
The broth is on point, to be honest. Like,
but it's so, like, it's actually pretty effortless to make it taste good because the shellfish seasons it by itself. Like, there's no salt added. Which is insane for this amount of liquid. Like, you would need to add quite a bit of salt to have it seasoned. Yeah, I think we need more bread. I have a little bit more. Just a little bit more to toast up. Yes, Chew and Brew, you better go start that stream. Thanks for hanging it with us for a little bit. Maybe we'll come say hey. Probably. For whatever you're up to, man. You take care. I like the little sausage pieces. If you guys didn't want sausage, bacon is always the other option.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Okay, I'm gonna start putting all of the Korean barbecue stuff into the blender, you guys. So we can make our marinade for the pork shoulder. A chef doesn't have to like everything, but how would you then cook what you personally don't like? You literally have to suck it up.
Yep.
And taste it if there's no one else around.
Yep.
Like, I hate, or I don't like the taste of liver at all. I can't say I hate it, because I will eat it at some parts, or at some points when it is made properly. But, like, we used to have a chicken liver mousse on the menu. And, like, when I would have to make that, because there's no one else around to make it, almost gagging. Still tasted it to make sure it's, like, perfectly seasoned, but the whole time it's just like, man, I wish I was not making this. But like, we do have a duck liver mousse at work, which we mix up and then bake into like these little pieces. It's actually really good. So like that preparation of it, I will eat. At other instances though, it's like very appalling to me. So like stuff like that, you just literally have to suck it up and cook it and do the best that you can. And I think that just makes you a stronger person. Okay, a couple more spoonfuls of broth, but no more getting my hands dirty. Yeah, he literally just keeps going. He's a machine.
That's it for me.
Whoa, that's it, he says. Yeah, you did good. He did good, guys, hey? Yeah, like some people hate food with cilantro in it. That's like a very strong flavor though, pizza blob, so to me that makes sense. Okay.
Walk away. That was fun. That was so fun.
Satisfied?
Yes.
Okay. Just looking up this marinade, guys. Sammy needs a bigger spoon. There is a mess over here. I'm not even gonna start cleaning it up.
I got all over myself too. It's okay. I got some on my shirt.
Why am I not finding any proper Korean barbecue sauce recipes with gochujang? What is this madness, guys? Butt burglar. Holy shit. Welcome back, but it's been too long. Guys, most of you actually in here probably don't even know who Butt Burglar is, but she was like one of my first subs ever in the stream. She has been away for quite a while dealing with family stuff and life. It happens. But I knew that she would return. And this makes me so happy. How are you doing, Butt? We've missed ya. Yeah, Butt, Meat and Matt, another mod. He's freaking awesome. He works in kitchens. He is in love with Sammy, and I have accepted this. Matt and Butt will for sure get along. I know of this. Everyone is in love with Sammy. Fair enough, but... Fair enough. Okay, still looking up this recipe. The green stuff is kale. Yeah, what is that green stuff that she put on there? Kale from the garden, my boys. Let me look at this Korean barbecue sauce recipe.
She's so good, guys.
I think we're gonna just make our own little thing going on. Okay, making our own Korean barbecue sauce, guys. So that kale, I planted it late season. So I started it from seed and just had it in like little seedling trays. Then when it got like that big, or it needs to have 3 leaves on the seedling before you can plant it in the garden. I think I did that in September or October. But now that things are pretty cool, it's not growing as quickly compared to if it was in like spring or summertime. So usually a kale plant takes about 3 weeks to grow, but these ones have been growing for a couple months now, and I'm just starting to harvest off of them. Thanks for posting that, Matt. Yeah, we'll do something along the lines of that. I'm just trying to remember back to when I've made Korean barbecue sauce before, and it's not too similar to what they have there. We are going to make it in a blender, so we're going to make this really easy on ourselves. Easy peasy. Yeah, 3 weeks is pretty quick, hey? But that's kind of an average for most kind of leafy plants like that. Yeah, but tomorrow we're making bo sam, which is a Korean family style meal with lettuce wraps and roasted pork and rice and veggies. It's really yummy. Thanks, Matt. Okay, let's get some ingredients out. So I'm gonna roll with some green onions still. Geo, we need some sesame oil. Maybe a little bit of rice vinegar. In my opinion, this stuff is the key component to Korean barbecue. So that will focus. It's called gochujang, and it's a chili paste. So we need that. We need some ginger. And soy sauce. Oh yeah, all recipes is awesome, Matt. I love how the recipe has MSG in it. Casual teaspoon of monosodium glutamate. Good to go. Yeah, I always scroll down to the comments or the reviews as well and see what people say. Yeah, 1 out of 5 stars. Yeah, gochujang is so good. This one is not too spicy either, luckily. Oh, the granite bowls and make crispy rice. We were just talking about that at work, actually, the other day. Okay, soy sauce. The soya sauce. And then I'm also going to put in some of this cooking sake in, just cause. Yeah, those bowls are amazing, but I know, imagine if you like, I don't know, if something happened and it dropped or like you touched it randomly. Terrifying. Yeah. They literally sprinkle it onto the food as like a garnish. Just a little bit of MSG. It's hilarious. Okay. And some garlic. Garlic. Pretty simple marinade, I would say. I think Sammy went to the bed. He had to lay down from that one, guys. So let's kind of start to measure out our ingredients. We don't want to go too heavy on the soy sauce. Let's do this. Because that's really salty, right? So you don't want too much salt in there. That can overpower it. But we do have a really big piece of pork. So I think if we go with like a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, that will not be overpowering. Heavy soy sauce. Maybe even more. I'm just going to fill it to the brim, I think. Because we are going to balance this out with some sugar. We can always add more, but we can't take it away, right? Now some of the cooking sake, which also says it's salted, so we want to be careful with that. Quarter cup of that. Matt, you didn't get to see the bowl. The bowl of mussels and clams. So the vinegar, we don't want too much of that, right? That's really strong, so let's get some teaspoon and tablespoon measures out as well. Hey Viyun, how are you? Good to see you in here. I'm gonna do a tablespoon of the rice vinegar. Some Chinese cooking wines are denatured with salt. Yeah, it's true. It's true, it's true. But they will say on it. Like this says salted cooking sake. Kind of drunk. Yes. Success. Just came back from the Christmas market. Mulled wine is awesome. Yes. Oh, you know what? We picked up some spices the other day at the store. Maybe we'll make some tomorrow on stream together. Or in the upcoming weeks leading up to Christmas. I love mulled wine or like apple cider. Yum, yum. Okay, sesame oil, another strong flavored ingredient. So I'm gonna roll with, I think, half a tablespoon of this. Yeah, Viyun, Butt is back. How awesome is that? We've just missed you so much. How are the kidlets, Butt? And the hubby? Yeah, gotta let us know that you're alive. Okay, now we're going in to the gochujang. So this is what it looks like when you open it up. Just a nice red chili paste. And yeah, this one is not too spicy. The dog is trying to get her bone, even though we put it away. She's not having any of it. She's like, this is mine, and I will have it. But it's too heavy for her to get it out of where Sam put it. Posh, what are you doing? Okay, so gochujang, kind of the main component in Korean barbecue in my mind. So I'm gonna do like a good heaping spoonful of that. Since it's not too spicy, you just gotta make sure that you didn't get the super spicy one. Because if you did, you will blow your face off. Oh, they're in preschool for half days. Nice. He's doing well at his job. Oh, that's so good to hear. Just quit raiding in WoW after he's been playing for 14 years. Sounds like Sammy. Sammy said he'd never go back to it, but then he always gets sucked back in. Just a quick raid. Won't take too long. You really love the new place. Oh, that's so good to hear. Really, really happy for you. Okay, so there's that. You can hear him laughing in the background. That's perfect. Okay, on to some of the veggies. What is happening here? Does the music keep cutting out, guys? Let me see this for a sec. I'm upset. Let's do this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There we go. There we go. So a nice nub of ginger is what we need. Wow, but that's crazy. So, I don't know if we'll use all of this ginger. No, that's quite a bit. Maybe like half of it. And then we gotta peel. Ah, see, I didn't even notice where it's like hollow there. Maybe we will use all of it. Let's see by the time we have it peeled up, how much is left. Yeah, WoW is like such a big commitment, hey? If you're a WoW player, that is part of your life, for sure. I've never touched the game, so I don't understand, my friends. Sam just comes out with the truth bomb. It's like about a tablespoon of ginger. I feel good with that. It's okay if you don't get all of the peel off, just most of it. Just cut it into nice little pieces. Solid investment. Maybe 3 cloves of garlic. If I can get them off. Maybe 4 because they're small. We are your WoW Matt. Aw. Thanks, man. We are the game that you can't stop playing. Nothing happened. Everyone's okay. We're okay. Just creating some earthquakes over here. 1 clove of garlic. Ah ha ha. Yeah, not so aggressive with the garlic. That's called a Kate smash. You posted in the wrong chat. Not like this. Oh, Matt. Let's get this shrapnel out of there. You gotta get some green onion in the mix. You mod for some other food channels now? That's awesome, dude. Look at you go. Matt, I will allow this. I will give you permission. Ah, chew and brew. Nice. Solid channel. What kind of knife is this? This is a shun. Sorry, I just blinded you. It's a good investment for a chef's knife, I would say. Oh, it's true. The meat calendar. We need it ready for next year. You just better start taking some meat photos then. Okay, so 2 things of green onion in there. And I think I might just add a touch of vegetable oil just to kind of thicken things up. And then some sugar. Sugar. I'm not going to add olive oil because I don't want it to really clash with these other strong flavors. Seafood counts too. Okay, Matt. I mean, we only need 12 photos. So that's not that hard. And I'm going to go with brown sugar, my friends. That'll give us a little bit more rich flavor and some depth compared to white sugar. Yeah, it is an all-purpose chef's knife. I think it's called a santoku. Santoku. Yeah, exactly, but that's exactly what Matt wants. Firefighter chef, please. I would totally sell it for charity. I'm in, guys. Okay, let's do a couple good spoonfuls of sugar to kind of balance everything out. You found Kaishin knives? I don't know what that is, actually. Ah. Okay. Okay, we're gonna roll with this, and then we're gonna taste it once it's all blended up. I think we have everything. Ah, you know what we're missing? A squirt of ketchup. No joke, guys. This is a thing. 'Tis a thing that has to be done. And that will also add some sweetness and a little bit of vinegar. I know, in dog. How dare you? Just a little drizz. It's actually really good for marinating meat, especially like Asian style, Korean, Filipino that's a thing. I know, shocking. Okay, now we can go over to the blender. Start low. And we want it pretty smooth. We want it pretty smooth. Thanks for the biddies. It showed Kaishin knives. Okay, let me see. I need to clear some stuff up. I think I did a command for mine. So that's the knife that I have, carrot potato. Ta-da! Crazy orange sauce. Okay, let's see what we have made. I'm definitely gonna need a spatula. Boom, it always splashes up. Smells pretty good. I think we might have done well. Scrape down the sides. And then I will do a little taste test, see if it needs to be adjusted at all. And then we will go from there. It needs a little bit more salt. I'm gonna give Sammy a little taste and see what he says. Maybe even more gochujang. Gochujang and some salt, or soy, or just salt. Okay, gochujang and soy sauce, but the garlic and ginger is really nicely balanced, and we don't want that to overpower. I think it is the same one. Carrot potato. Shunkai. Yeah, same. Same and the same. I've never heard them called that, though. Not even once. Okay. Pepper paste. Coming back in. And just a little bit of soy sauce. Yeah, Kai is a shun thing. Exactly. Let's get this out of there for now as well. This kitchen. Today, we made a mess. Those bloody Europeans. I'm gonna do like a tablespoon more of the soy. And probably a tablespoon more of the gochu as well. Like I said, this one's not too spicy. It just gives a nice kind of floral pepper flavor, instead of just overwhelming your palate with spice. And I do really, really love it. The Amazon-sized jug of soy sauce. Can't go wrong, guys. I mean, if you use it that much, I think we've done pretty well with that. Norges, you're still in here, man? Yeah, you're good. Norway is not part of the EU. So you are not in there. You are safe, my dude. Ugh, get off. Get off my finger. Okay, one more little blend. You're a lurker. That's allowed. You know this. One more quick little blend. And then it's pork time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Mmm. Yeah, that's good. It's salty enough now that I know it's going to season the pork properly. Since it is such a big cut of meat, you really need to up that salt so that it can penetrate all the way through. Oh, God. Oh, goodness. Sounds good, but so good to know that you are well. Great seeing you today. I hope you have a wonderful week as well. You take care. Let me know if you need anything at all. Just a quick little cleanup for a sec, guys. Co-mingle everything, or else I'm gonna lose it. Ugh. And now we will get into the meat, baby. Like, this thing is heavy. This is a big piece of meat. And I think we have to debone it today. Since it is going in the rotisserie. I think so. But this is a bone-in pork butt or pork shoulder roast. If you guys can see the price or not. So it's $3.49 a pound. So this is 7.5 pounds. 26 bucks for that piece of meat. That's a pretty good price, I would say. Pretty good. Now you have a knife on your wish list. Perfect. Yeah, it's called pork butt in Canada too, even though it's not from the butt at all. Oh, we are leaking. No. Not the leaks. Okay, I can see that this is going to be a little bit messy. I'm taking it apart. And you know what? I'm just going to go for a quick bathroom break and then we'll come back and do this. I don't like holding it. So, if you guys are roasting the pork butt in the oven, you do not have to take the bone out. Lemon, thank you for the resub. Welcome back. Limpin' Lemon, how have you been? Butts can leak. Oh no. You guys are cray. Leave for 1 second. How's it going, Nike? Welcome in, man. Vune, you're super tired. Okay. Have a good sleep. Hopefully I'll catch you tomorrow. I need some water. I'm parched. La Kate is parched. Nor just pissed you off, man. We don't want any stream feuds in here. I'm sorry to hear that, Nike. I think he was just joking, though. I know Norge is. I think he's just joking around. Leave the bone in your butt if you're roasting. Exactly, Rolo. There's the meat, baby. I just don't think we'll be able to put it onto the rotisserie with the bone in. I might have to get Inspector Sammy over here to see what he thinks. Nike. You know what, man? Hate is gonna hate. And that should be your power, honestly, in life. Like, when people hate on you, that means they're jealous. Just saying. We need to pour all this juice out into the sink so that it doesn't stench up the garbage. Or, the other side of it, Nike, is if people are hating on you, that means they do really like you. Like, you gotta go back to, like, 2nd grade. When the guys would always make fun of the girls. They did that for a reason. Or vice versa. When the girls would be mean to the guys. That means they like you. Matt puts his boogers on you. Okay, so here is the pork shoulder. Obviously, this is where they cleaned the skin off and trimmed up a little bit of the fat. And then this is where the shoulder blade bone is. So it kind of goes on like a little curve. It looks like a Nike. Okay, this is for you, Nike. Just do it. Got a little Nike swoosh in here. So that's what we would have to take out. But if I look at the rotisserie, yeah, I think we'll have to debone it. So I'm gonna go from the bottom because we don't want to mess up this top fat cap. We want to keep that together because that's gonna keep the whole roast moist when we go to cook it. So we'll flip that over and then start kind of digging. So I'm gonna go off of this bone on the side here as well. So you can tell that was like attached to something. It's like a little knuckle almost. Pork is from the piggy. Yes. Nike, no one's pushing you out, man. I'm so sorry that you felt like that the other day. You should totally message me when you're feeling like that. We'll deal with it together. So I'm gonna start on this side. I know that's hard for you guys to see, but trust. Trust. Kind of get it loosened up off of there. So basically we're gonna go all the way around this bone. It's kind of a crazy bone. It's really flat. So that's why we're not gonna be able to put it into the rotisserie. And I've not actually deboned too many pork shoulders. I'm just kind of starting to get more into butchery now with where I'm working at. And this is something that I really do enjoy, and I think it's important for people to know how their food is brought to them. So we kind of loosen that all up now. And then if I feel it, definitely goes flat. So this is gonna come kind of all the way over this way to where that shoulder blade piece is. But I wanna keep this as much intact as possible. So I could even, like just going with my hand, I can loosen the meat off. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a swipe this way and down along the bone, and then we'll come up along the other side there. Oh, me too, Nike. That's totally me. Is like when I'm quiet, Sam knows that there's something wrong. I'm such an overthinker as well, so I got you, man. So there's that. We're opening it up. You can see the shoulder blade there. Obviously, you want as little amount of meat left on the bone as possible, but we won't be throwing this bone out. We will be putting it into the freezer to use for some sort of pork stock. Or you can even use it in a beef stock as well. That's allowed to do a little combo. Little combination. So just keep sliding your knife along the bone, and it is flat, so that should be pretty easy. And then kind of just pull the meat up as you do that. I know this is not the greatest angle for you guys. Trying to make it work. So then this bone, it's wide on one end, and then it kind of tapers up this way. Just gonna go to the end there. And now I'm gonna cut along the whole side of it where it kind of ends. Like that. Carrot potato, you would never push anybody away. That's awesome. Oh, grape pie. Yeah, Nike, I was actually kind of sad when you left. I knew there was something wrong. Maybe that's my fault for not even reaching out to you. Hey, thanks, Matt. Trying my best. Just playing with some pork today. Okay, now I gotta turn this just to make it easier on myself. Playing with pork. So then the other side of this shoulder bone right here. So now we can see it pretty clearly now. There's a little ridge on the underside that we just have to kind of go through over and under with our knife to loosen it up so it's not flat on both sides. It's all coming back to me now. Just wait till we get this bone out of here and you'll be like, that was inside of there? Like, this is how you start to learn how an animal is put together. Which is kind of why I really like doing butchery, is like knowing how an animal works and like how they're made up. So now we are working up to the fat cap here. So I want to be really careful, but this is where the ridge is on the bone. So you can see where I'm kind of cutting around that. But we don't want to wreck that fat cap. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more precise now. This is gonna be like one of the last slices, guys. Boom. Shoulder blade bone. There you go. So we just deboned a pork shoulder. This is what you get. So there we go. No more bone. I'm gonna put this aside for now. Okay, so now you can see that it's kind of opened up there, but that's okay. Because I think we're gonna tie it tomorrow before it even goes in the rotisserie. But now this means We can put marinade in there. Like, get some marinade on the inside of the pork shoulder. Tasty, tasty. Yeah, the romaine. The real devil's lettuce. Okay, so now I'm going to get a Ziploc bag out, and that's how we're going to marinate this guy overnight. The A1 to E5 for me, it's a real thing. Yeah, you got to know your meat grades. Just going to wash up my hands real quick to grab this bag. Raw meat hands. The meaty meats. You eat F class? Yeah, okay, Matt. Good one. I think this will fit in a Ziploc, like just. Phew. Filthy Frank class. You like my deboning, Sammy? For you today. Okay, one more time. Matt, this is for you. Okay, that's enough. You guys. You crazy guys. Okay. The meat, baby. That's big. 7.5 pounds. Now it's probably just 7 pounds. Spank it. Okay, one for good luck. Oh God, it's not gonna fit. That's what they said.
That's what she said.
Ugh. One for good luck. Yeah, I do mine in groupings of 3. 3 little love taps.
Posh needs her bone. She keeps on looking at me.
Okay, Sammy, your job now.
Huh?
Your job now, please, is to just hold this while we pour the marinade in.
And if I refuse?
Well, then there's no meat for you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
I hold the bag.
I know. Hard job.
I'm dying.
You can't even chew anymore? There you go.
That's better. That's better.
Can you hold it towards the camera, please? Thank
You
you.
in Vancouver Island in the spring now?
Who is?
Nike.
Yeah, he is. Okay, we're pouring the good stuff in. Then we get a little massagey.
Thank you, Pickle Legs. Pretty good at it.
Okay. Now we close it up.
I'm going to answer your question with a smile.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave. Okay, there's that. Gentle. Be gentle. We don't want to burst the bag. No, flip it. What's the marinade? We made a Korean barbecue sauce, Nike. It's got some Korean chili paste in it. Hey, Buff, you are in here. Buff, guess what? I'm gonna be making some biltong on stream. Someone anonymously bought us the dehydrator yesterday. So if you so desire, feel free to send me your recipe. And I'll bring it to life in Canada. Yeah, seriously, dude. Biltong. It's gonna be a thing. I think you're good.
Okay.
Get your hands off that meat.
I was just playing with the meat. She never gets upset with me when I play with my meat.
Whoa.
Why is there a bone on my shoe?
Doggo. Okay, so now we're gonna put that back onto a plate, just in case. I mean, you gotta kind of trust the Ziploc, but I've had a couple leak on me before. So the trust has been broken, let's say. So maybe I'll do it on a sheet pan. That way, if anything comes out, it will be collected. Doggo wants to share. Ah, Doggo and her bone. Oh, Doggo. I'm so excited, Buff. I need to know what this biltong madness is. Okay.
What's biltong?
It's like a dried beef sort of thing.
Oh, like a jerky, but not.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a thing. Okay, so there's that, guys. We did it. Crushed the stream today. That was a long one, too. This thing is still sideways. I don't know what the hell's going on. It means butt tongue. That's hilarious. Yes, Nike. Well, you know what, though, dude? We're actually ending the stream now. So this is where you make your decision. We already had lunch, which is this madness that's left over. I'll show you. So the one side was Sammy's, and this was my side. So, like, Sammy just crushed it. It's all getting good. Oh, Matt. Well, you know what, though, man? So we gotta get on with the day. We got some stuffs to do. Gotta clean the house. Gotta go visit some of Sammy's co-workers, give them some treats. So that means a good little drive into the city.
Well, I gotta show them the treat one more time.
Mm-hmm. Show them the treat. And then we'll be back tomorrow. Well, you know what? We're setting up the pork in the rotisserie early. Sammy made treats. I bet Nike would love that.
This is the greatest stoner food ever. Just saying.
Stoner snacks.
So good.
Peanut butter marshmallow squares. Too good. I know, Buff. I know. I'm sorry, dude. But we will be on tomorrow. And we're putting the pork in the rotisserie around noon. And we'll have the rotisserie cam going, you guys.
So 2.5 hours of rotisserie cam.
And then I'll be starting up around 2 or 3 p.m.
And then I'll be in chat talking to you guys.
Well, that's the day tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we'll be here with you guys.
Nike.
Give me the Scooby snacks.
Nike. Time for a goal. I think something's dying out there.
I think there's a rabbit dying outside. This is what it sounds like. Ew! Ew! There's some weird shit going on outside.
What does it sound like?
Yeah. Ew! I can't do it good. Okay, guys. We're shutting her down. Who do we got? Oh, I think we should head into Chew and Brew, hey? Chew and Brew, and then that way Matt can keep modding. Sounds good. He's making al pastor tacos and conchas, Mexican sweetbread. That sounds delicious. I'm down. Yeah, Buff, hopefully. And honestly, dude, the dehydrator is going to be in the next couple of weeks. So I would love to make some biltong. And hopefully have you in on stream when we do it. So maybe we can do some chatting about what kind of schedule will work best for you. Let me know. Thanks for all the love today, guys. Matt, thank you for gifting all of the subs. Thanks for the resubs, the biddies, and all the new followers as well. Really, really good stream today. And hopefully you guys learned a little bit about how to prepare shellfish if you ever have access to it. Okay, going into Chew and Brew. Show him some love. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Love you all. Voodoo Man, thank you for the 100 biddies. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.